A passing grade was something I was always happy with in school, but Shedeur is saying that if he could just play better, at least they got the win. Kyle, just to make sure, I don't know if you have one of your fancy swatches on today, but that is the Shedeur look at the watch like it's time. So he yeah, you got it. Yeah, okay. Exactly. He was the wristband.
Checking his wrist
yeah, exactly.
for his watch.
Yeah, exactly. It's what the kid. I'm sure you'll see it now all over the socials. Manti, your thoughts, knowing what we felt about Shedeur going into this game, what you saw, and now the aftermath.
Yeah, I was impressed, but I wasn't impressed because of his performance. I think the way that he operated, the way he threw the ball, we all knew in college he was accurate. We all knew that he had poise. He did show his tendency to extend plays. He got caught one time. The other time he ran to his left and ran back to his right and gained 0 yards. But we saw that. So that wasn't something I was surprised by. But the thing that impressed me was this, guys. And you know this, DeMarco. Knowing that he's the 4th quarterback on the depth chart. For those of you who don't know the rep count, usually it's around 10 to 12 plays per series in practice, right? And there's one 7-on-7 series, and there's about 14 period series. So it's about 40 plays. For Shedeur, he's probably getting about 2 to 3 plays, 3 plays max in these periods. And so given those circumstances, given that background of the lack of reps, this guy played the least amount of reps, yet he played the most, other than all those quarterbacks that didn't play. Two were hurt. Obviously, you have the starting quarterback. He's not going to play, so Shedeur played the most. But for him to play that way, for him to have that much poise, for him to be that accurate and that confident, it wasn't surprising because of what we've seen throughout his career, but it was knowing the situations and the circumstances that he was playing in through training camp and all the rep count. So I was very impressed by him for his resilience and showing that level of maturity, DeMarco.
I'm not sure about the setup to fail thing, but it didn't look too big for him. That's the first thing that jumped out. And I liked the way he played. I liked his ball placement. I thought the worst play is what you said, that 4th and 13 where he was trying to do too much. Now, that's where you want to download the score of the game. It's early. We don't need to have you try to be Superman here. We can kick the field goal and just get points on the board. So all that will come in time. And I'm trying to figure out, do you keep your watch on this side or this side? Am I doing this or this?
Yeah. I think he's probably shaking it a little bit.
The watch is so blinged out that he's got to look at it in the 360.
Because the one behind you over there, it's like he's doing the baseball out thing. Like you're out, but I don't know. But anyway, I thought he played pretty good. I thought he aced the first quiz. It's going to get tougher from here. This is preseason game number 1, so let's not go too overboard with the effusive praise. I thought he was good. I think he deserves to be in the NFL. I would like to see him start again in preseason to see what happens after that.
Let's not go too overboard, Kyle, with the effusive praise, but have Nike immediately put a poster up that it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, listen, DeMarco, I think that horse has left the barn. This is one of these games where if you see the highlight reel like we just showed you, you're like, oh my God, he's starting week 1. He's going to be all pro this year. If you watch the game, which I did on Friday night, it was just slightly different without the produced tweets and the Dion and the LeBron. Here's the deal. He was not brilliant in this game. It doesn't matter, though. Of course, it's his first NFL action ever. He had some 3-and-outs to start. He had a bunch of misses, gets a touchdown on a short field, and then has a legitimately impressive long touchdown drive, in which he went 3 for 3. I don't want to take anything away from Shedeur. There was a feeling of pride in this dude, and impressiveness, sure, but I think the biggest takeaway is that there's a perception in the media and in the public where somehow Shedeur has been done wrong. And he's been put down, and he's been disrespected, and he's better than that. Here's what I know. He did not look like a 4th-string quarterback. He did not look like a 5th-round rookie. He looked capable, able, confident, comfortable, everything you would want for any rookie quarterback, including the other rookies who played this weekend, like Cam Ward and Jaxson, who also played well. But there's another part of this that I thought was really impressive, and if you've been following this all weekend, and most of you have, then you saw this. Shedeur had an exchange after the game in the media. There's a Cleveland reporter, I'll just say his name. His name's Tony Grossi, he's ESPN Cleveland, who has, I don't know him personally, but he has a very loaded reputation, especially in the Cleveland market, maybe as someone who is very critical, and many think that maybe he is too negative about young players, Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, he's seen them all. Shedeur confronted him in the tunnel after the game. And by confronted, I don't mean there was some confrontation specifically. I mean, he went up to him, and it's all on camera, and you can see it, and you said, how come you never say anything positive about me? You always say anything negative about me. And there was a little back and forth and a response, and then Shedeur laughs, and it felt like the tension broke. And I just watched it, and I said, that's pretty impressive. I like that he handled it that way, and I like that he was able to disarm this reporter who's seen everything, and it looked like it was positive. That, to me, showed me a poise, a confidence, and also like kind of an off-the-paper type talent that a lot of people don't have. I like how he looked on the field. Candidly, in Cleveland, I feel they feel the same way. These Browns fans who've seen everything. I was more impressed with him in the tunnel handling a difficult media situation like an adult and a professional, and just as the way he handled things on the field. I think it was a great night for him. He's going to need a lot more, but it was a hell of a start, and I'm proud of what I saw.
Yeah, it's like a stripped-down version of him. When he has that kind of approach, Kyle, it wasn't for show. I actually think it was a genuine interaction with someone that has been critical, not just of himself, but maybe those representative of other young players in the NFL. Kyle, just doing a little history recap, watching that highlight, it really reminded me of pop-up video. It was like so many tweets. There's Dion,
VH1.
LeBron.
Yeah.
VH1 pop-up video stopped airing in 2002, which is the year in which Shadeur Sanders was born. So when you have Jamie Foxx giving social media commentary, Kyle, you're the one that said on our show on Friday, like, this thing, no matter what, will break the internet. I mean, I feel like LeBron is LeBron, but like when you go outside the universe, the sports universe, if you will, into Jamie Foxx providing Friday night preseason football commentary, we've reached another level of it.
Yes. Do we have the Jamie Foxx video? Let's roll it. Do we have that? Let's see Jamie Foxx's reaction to Browns-Panthers preseason.
I hear what all y'all saying. My name is Willie B, man. Hey, he the real deal. Real deal. That's coming from Willie. That's coming from Willie. Hey, now how y'all feel now? How y'all feel now? No matter what he do, how you feel now? Man playing for his daddy. All you haters. If you hate Shedeur, you hate football.
That was not Jamie Foxx. That was Willie Beeman from the Miami Sharks.
Sir. Yeah.
And by the way, DeMarco, like I don't know if you guys feel the same way as me, but I'm trying to like applaud and lift up Shedeur because that was really cool what he did on the field and everything about him. The reaction is, we just saw Jamie Foxx say, like, how do you like him now after he went against Panthers backups? Not even like Eagles backups. Panthers backups. It's a lot. So I like it. I'm on that fence about being like, way to go, Shedeur, about, oh, my God, do we really need the LeBron tweets about a preseason game? I'm stuck.
He's got to go down there. Shedeur does. I mean, you're just making it worse on the kid. But, I mean, look, this is the attention that he gets. I love the entourage thing, but I do love the fact that he went and talked to the media because people have preconceived notions about people. And my first question is, have you ever met him? Did you ever talk to him?
Right.
He may not be what you think. So I think this is great. If you just see this part here, you probably don't like Shedeur.
You roll your eyes.
You roll your eyes. But if you actually have a chance to talk to him, oh, my God, he's just like my kid. I know people like him. So I am rooting for Shedeur. I want to see him do well. But it's not going to be any easier for him when you have people like LeBron and Jamie Foxx doing videos like that.
Right.
Because what does that do for us the next time we play Shedeur?
Yeah.
I want to be, hey, Jamie, come pick up your boy. You know what I mean? So it's making it tough, but I think Shedeur can handle it.
Yeah, but it also makes sense as to why Shedeur has so much poise. You know, and there's like, the guy is a Sanders. Like, he's used to this type of attention. Like, his dad is who he is. And so when he starts to act this way with this maturity and this poise, and he's not afraid to go up as a rookie to go up against somebody, a media member, and say what he says, like, that just, nobody does that. You know what I mean? Unless you have a background or have a certain experience in this field, in this environment where you're like, man, I'm just going to go up to this guy and talk to him. You know, you have to come from a certain background. And so it all makes sense at the end of the day, KB.
We could talk about Shedeur for the next 3 hours. Maybe we even will. It wouldn't be us if I didn't take a time right now. There is another rookie sensation that I just need to give a little bit of credit to, and it's not Jaxson Dart or Cam Ward. Can we take a quick hot second to go back to that one-handed catch by Luke Floria of the Cleveland Browns? Never mind Shedeur on this play. He breaks the pocket, he throws it up. Watch the catch, boom, by an undrafted rookie who goes 5'8", 179. Here's my question. LeBron, where's your tweet on Luke Floria? Why not a little love to Luke Floria? LeBron, he's from Mentor, Ohio. He went to Kent State. How about a little love, just a second of love from Luke Floria? Where's Luke Floria's dad's tweets? Where's his tweet from the Any Given Sunday guy? That was a more impressive play than any other rookie made all weekend. And again, 5'8", 179 pounds, like it's nothing. That's like a young Julian Edelman. So, Shedeur, we're going to do 10,000 segments on you. I am taking my pound of media flesh for Luke Floria. And LeBron, you should be tweeting about him. That's one of your people from Ohio. That's a guy making a play. Celebrate Luke Floria and spell his name right when you tweet it, please, LeBron. Thank you.
Yeah, you got to check that Floria spelling. Absolutely.
Proud of you tonight. You did some good things. We got to make some more plays, too, on the perimeter. That's not what we do. You know, we got 2 or 3 chances to make those plays. And, you know, what's mid now mean? That was mid. You know, that was his response. I said, let's. You know, he's pretty hard on himself. I'll say that. You know, he's. Yeah, you got to ask him about what mid means. 6'7".
Bet. Kyle, what's the word in New York about Jaxson Dart?
First of all, 6'7" is the thing that people are saying. So now that Brian Daboll has said it, I took it upon myself. I don't know what that phrase means. I'm a 40-something dad in the suburbs, so I looked it up. 6'7" is apparently everywhere, especially in junior high. It's something that all these kids are saying all the time. So I just want to know what it means. Apparently, it derived from a Skrilla song, and I've spent the entire pre-show, like an hour sitting here before the show started, looking at TikTok videos about 6'7". Like, my brain is melted. Some people say it means so-so, but others argues to a person who is tall. The bottom line is the term 6'7" is nonsensical, which is sort of the point.
Kyle,
so 6'7", kids. I guess it's not vulgar. It's not going to get me canceled. 6'7".
Kind of reckless for you from an editorial perspective to just be using a phrase like 6'7" and be like, not sure what it means, using it on live television, actively looking up.
I didn't know what it meant either.
I like the guts. Yeah. It's good. It's kind of like how Jaxson Dart played.
It's you know what, Jamie? That's a huge, great connection. Jaxson Dart played really well. Completed his first 3 passes, like I mentioned. He ran, he passed. It was like everything you could possibly want. Russell Wilson is starting the season. We can look at these Jaxson Dart highlights. If Brian Daboll had his way, I don't think Jaxson Dart would play a single down this year because Russell Wilson turns out to be really good, and they go and they get to the playoffs. It's tricky for us in the preseason because we want to highlight these rookies, and no one is terribly excited necessarily about Russell Wilson as a Giants, but we're very excited about Jaxson Dart. I don't think there's not going to be a quarterback competition. There's not going to be any of that. He's been from the get-go. It's going to be Russ, and everything in the first preseason game just backed that up. So the 4 of us here on the show, we'd like to chew on something tasty and spicy. I don't think the Giants quarterback situation is going to be either of those. The takeaway from this, they made a good-looking pick. Dart looked the part, and hopefully we next see him maybe in 2026, although I don't think it's going to go that way. But Manti, what do you think?
Well, I thought it was impressive. I know we're showing the highlight, his touchdown throw, but the play before that, he actually threw an interception. Like, the ball was tipped, it was intercepted, it was negated because of a penalty. But for him to have that courage to be like, I just threw a pick. I'm going to go on a bomb and throw this. That says a lot about his makeup. But this is what I took from it. Brian Daboll runs a totally different offense with him as quarterback than Russell Wilson. If you watch that game, Russell Wilson runs a traditional hand the ball off, play action, let's get the ball downfield. When Jaxson Dart comes in the game, it's more college. It's more RPO. You saw him when he was in the mesh with the running back, his eyes are on the defense, and he would throw the ball to a receiver like 2 yards on the field. It's a different approach. You saw some quarterback-designed runs with a quarterback draw. So it's going to be interesting for me to see Brian Daboll and how he kind of plays this, because obviously he has a certain flavor that he likes to run with Russell compared to Jaxson Dart. And for me, it's like, when do you start to implement those things? Because there are definitely 2 different approaches, DeMarco, to both of these quarterbacks.
I'm about to crash out. Is that right?
Nice, DeMarco.
I'm trying to get it right.
Yep.
No, but I thought he was pretty good. Watching Jaxson Dart, same thing with Shadeur Sanders. I thought he aced the first quiz. I thought his blank meter Your quarterback timer was set to high. Anytime he felt a rush, he would take off. So, in this league, if you put yourself in harm's way, they're going to harm you. So there's a lot left for him to learn, but the talent is there. He can get the ball out. I'm not a fan of his release and where it comes from, but I said the same thing about Phillip Rivers. It's effective. He gets the ball out, but there's a lot left for him to learn, but you can see the talent. At some point, he may track down Russell Wilson later, depending on how the Giants do.
DeMarco, you were almost convincing me that you were totally with the youth up until you said, I felt the same way about Phillip Rivers. Now you've level set your generational touchstone there, Kyle.
Yeah, and what we're talking about, what DeMarco just mentioned about running down Russell Wilson. All right, so Jaxson Dart's not going to win the job in preseason. What the value is, though, of this preseason snaps and this tape and looking good for the coach and for the fan base is, all right, let's say the Giants don't have a great September. Let's say, and I hope it doesn't happen, let's say the Giants start 1-3 and Russ is not playing that great. Then you're like, well, Dart looked really good in the preseason. He sat and watched for a month. Then it only enables and encourages a coach to maybe make a move earlier than they would. And certainly the fans and the media, if Jaxson Dart continues to have a great preseason, if they go 0-1, never mind 1-3, they're going to be like, what are we doing here with Russ? Let's start the future now. That's the danger. He's not going to start week 1, but listen, there's action out there if you want to find it about what week will Jaxson Dart take over for the Giants. They open the season at Washington, at Dallas, Kansas City. Not an ideal slate. So keep your eye on Jaxson. He won't be there week 1, but based on these preseason games, that maybe turns up the volume a little bit after that.
That little well-done 70-yard field goal, plenty of room to spare. Jaguars would lose the game. Doesn't matter. We want to check in on the events of Saturday and see if this game, in the way that the Jaguars used Travis Hunter, shed any light on the concept of him playing both ways. Manti, your thoughts?
Well, I stand on what I stand on. And I think there's a narrative that's going around that if you don't think that he can play both ways, you don't think he's a good player, you don't want him to. I want him to be successful, okay? I want Travis Hunter to be an all-pro. I don't think he can become an all-pro if he's splitting time between two sides. That's what I want for him. I want him to be in the Hall of Fame one day. But how we saw it, I will say this. It did change my mind about what position he plays better. I thought offensively there was an understanding of timing in his routes, in space, that I didn't know that he had. But then defensively, I thought that he struggled a little bit with coming up and making some tackles. There's a few times that the receivers got inside of him on little crossing routes. That was a little surprising to me. But again, you watch his snap count. He played all offense first quarter, and then he didn't show up again until the second quarter when he played defense. And so for me, it's like, I know this is probably not how they're going to do it, but you do have to factor in the idea that this guy's going to have to get some rest. He's going to have to take some time off. So already those opportunities to be very competitive on one side of the ball is going to be taken because he has to play somewhere else. And I don't want that for him. I don't want that for Travis Hunter. I want him to be dominant somewhere. I want him to be dominant at quarter or receiver. It doesn't matter to me. I just don't think he can be dominant at both at the same time, DeMarco. So that's where I stand.
I'm right there with you. I think it's impossible to play both ways at a high level. This game is just too big, too strong, too fast. But I blame Shohei Ohtani for all this nonsense, people thinking they can do both and whatnot. But I'll say this. I have a lot of friends who are coaching right now that are my age or older, and they come from the old school. So you're going to tell me your best receiver is out there playing cornerback? Really? That's what you're telling me? So I'm running screens, I'm blocking safeties. I'm going to make that kid make every single play on defense to slow him down for the other side. So if he can do it, more power to him. I think it's impossible to be effective on both sides of the football in the NFL. That's just too much. That's just no way. But if anybody can do it, maybe it's Travis Hunter, but we'll see. First game, it was great. I thought it was a novelty. He was solid. But as far as being great on both sides of the football for, 120 snaps in the NFL, I just don't see it.
Well, I got to follow up on that, KB, before. Oh, you just brought up something, DeMarco. How many times have we ran a toss and we crack the linebacker and we leave like Derrick Henry to go one-on-one with a corner? Like that just brought back so many good memories for me, DeMarco. It's like, go attack that corner over there. And especially if you know that that's their star wide receiver as well. He becomes a huge target for somebody like Derrick Henry. Like, let's run this toss, and let's go run it to his side and run him over. So, KB, man, I'm sorry I had to cut you off, KB, because DeMarco just brought back some good memories about those
some
times,
bad ones,
man.
too.
Yeah, some bad ones, too, for some corners. Yep.
No, you can always jump in, man. If you guys want to apologize for anything, it's being a big old buzzkill. I hate this. I want him to play both ways. I'm here for it. Don't wet blanket me on Travis Hunter after one preseason game, guys. They did not draft him to play one side of the ball. They had a whole plan and a whole vision and a whole bunch of stuff to trade to go up and get him. They would not have made that trade if it was just going to be for a wide receiver or a corner. There was plenty of good players that high up in the draft. They want to do this, and the fact that they're actually doing it in preseason tells you they have conviction in doing this. This is going to happen. They're going to do it. And if you say, and what you're saying is true about the other team says, let's go after him schematically, they say, bring it. He didn't play college football out in cornfield somewhere. This guy played big-time college football against huge programs and smart coaches who could have done any of that stuff when they wanted to. He knows what this thing is like. I want him out there. I want to see it. And for everyone, Manti, you mentioned it, and Devontae Adams had this really enlightened take about the injury rate and all that, and everyone's saying, well, you got to be out there and tackling Derrick Henry. First of all, let's stop that. They don't play Derrick Henry this year. He's not on the schedule. The Jaguars do not play Derrick Henry. Take that out of the conversation. Unless Derrick Henry gets traded to the Titans, he doesn't have to tackle Derrick Henry unless it's to the playoffs, and by the way, that's worth it. So I don't want to hear about Derrick Henry anymore. Travis Hunter has done this. The Jags are committed to it. And I want everyone to stop wet blanketing it because it's fun and we're talking about the Jags and a B block. So let's leave it alone.
We may not have seen because it actually means that preseason happened. Week 1 is in the books, and we got some clips that we want to unearth yet again. Make sure we have everything covered on GMFB right now. And this has us saying, there's no way that happened. Manti, you're up first.
No, preseason is a bunch of things that you don't expect. But I definitely didn't expect a record, okay? So we had a record that was just broken by a kicker. Can we toss to this, please? We got to see this. It was 70 yards.
Yeah.
Cohen's thinking, why not go 70? You can really drill the ball.
Holy smokes. They got a shot.
He just kicked a 70-yard field goal. Are you kidding me? NFL veterans in the room. Have you ever seen a 70-yard attempt?
Cam Little hits a 70-yard kick right before halftime with 1 second left. He said that the ball wasn't going to go to the Hall of Fame. He, for some reason, took the ball. I don't know where it is, but don't put it behind your car. Okay, Cam Little, you're going to lose it. I lost mine. Don't put it behind your car.
That's perfect. Manti lost his game ball out of the trunk of his car driving around San Diego. For those of you who haven't heard that story before, go ahead, DeMarco.
Oh, no doubt. I think the Steelers are rooting for him. You should put, there's no way I can do this now. When you talk about Ben, we're parents. We have to get down here.
Yes.
Watch this kid here, Mike Green. Watch him come around the edge and run this hula hoop and bend. This is impossible.
Ooh.
Look at his ankle.
Look at his ankle.
Look at his body. This is running the hula hoop. This is what they teach. If I was a veteran with this guy, I would haze him. Because I can't do this. I would take your pads. I'd make you late for practice. I mean, this is how you win in the bigs. Look, that's a duck under. Nice play. Can't do that. Everybody's ankle's sore looking at that. Wow.
It was really
There's
strange
no way.
because DeMarco was asking everybody in the commercial break, can you bend? And I just didn't know how to answer the question at first. Now I understand it. I needed more context.
As parents, we've done this before when they're heading to the
chasing.
pool.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Right. Yes. That's it. But, yeah, only once. He's got to do this every day.
We heard a good story. That's a really good one, DeMarco. We heard a good story about Shadeur Sanders in the tunnel addressing a media member in Cleveland. My clip that I'm going to throw to actually happened on the field. And sometimes people say things because they know there's a mic around. I actually think Dak Prescott said the following statement to an owner in the NFL authentically, not thinking he was mic'd up. And he made apparently a prediction on the NFC side of things before the game. That is Mr. Kroenke. That is Mr. Jerry Jones. And that is Dak Prescott telling the Kroenkes that we'll meet y'all in the NFC Championship game. I don't know, Kyle. If I'm reading body language, Kroenke's like, yeah, we've been there, and the Cowboys, we'll see if that can happen for you. I don't love it. It's the hands in the pocket. It's everything that Kroenke's like, no, we understand how to get there. We'll see if that works.
Yeah. I don't know if I trust the lip readers. Are we sure Dak didn't say wild card round? I can't quite tell. But listen, when you meet people like that who are like executives and bosses, sometimes you get nervous. You just start spouting things like Dak's out of control. Yeah, NFC title game. Dak, I hope it's right. It's been 30 years. It would be nothing more refreshing if you're right. But yeah, Kroenke's like, yeah, I know we'll be there. I don't know about you. I like the confidence. We could use that from the Cowboys. My favorite play of the weekend, in fact, my clubhouse leader for favorite play of the season. Are you guys familiar with Anthony Jeffries? Anthony Jeffries is a wide receiver out of Alabama, Birmingham, who for the last several years has worked as an NFL official. And he is doing a Ronnie Lott impression on the sideline. This is the most outrageous thing that happened this weekend by far. So the Cowboys are going to throw it deep, right? Incomplete. Watch CeeDee Lamb. And bam! Ba-boom! Don't be on the tracks when NFL official Anthony Jeffries is coming through. He's there to work. CD, you're in street clothes. You're not in the game. Jeffries doesn't have street clothes. He wears his referee uniform all day long. Listen, I saw remixes of this with the Titanic music. I saw it with the Grand Theft Auto Wasted. CD even posted about it himself on Instagram. And let me just say, it's preseason, but Anthony Jeffries, you're my new favorite official. And I have my eye on you. You knocked the damn head off of him, and I'm just telling you.
Yes.
There's all kinds of punishment to go around.
Layered situation with Shadeur Sanders. There's expectation, there's perception, and then there's the production. Manti, what did you make of his Friday night start?
Well, I thought it was solid. I thought his performance was solid. But this is what I learned about Shedeur. I think there was a narrative about him coming out of college that he was this guy that thought he was something, that he was entitled. I mean, there were certain instances where that on his team visits, he had certain talks about his team visits, his combine. He said, history repeats itself. And there are times in colleges where he blamed his offensive line for not being able to block. Well, the Shedeur that I saw this past weekend was a mature Shedeur, was somebody who took accountability for things that weren't even his fault. And that's something that I thought that was amazing to see. I really respected the fact that he's shown a lot of growth, a lot of maturity, and that really bodes well not only as a player in this league, but as a leader in this league, as somebody who looks at the situation, doesn't accuse anybody else but himself. He said he had a C. He gave himself a C+, and I think that says a lot about him and his futures in this league.
The through line to this is I'm so happy for the Sanders family. Just a shout out to Prime. I mean, it's every kid's dream is to be in the NFL and to win a Super Bowl. The other part of that is I want to be so good that the name carries on that my son can actually play, and there he is. So, you know what? The theatrics do not bother me. The stuff that he does after you score does not bother me. I love this stuff. What you have to do is continue to work on your craft. Continue to get better at the little things. Being a leader. You know it's going to get tougher from here. It's going to be a lot of fun. I halfway expected Shedeur in that little press conference to start with, "It's my house." It's too early for that now, but at some point that's coming. I don't mind the bravado as long as you have the play to back it up. This was a great start. Now let's see what he does with the next opportunity. I still don't know what Cleveland is exactly trying to do at the quarterback spot, but for all the people that said Shedeur can't play at this level, at least you have some evidence to the contrary. So we'll see what happens from here, but I thought it was a good start.
I thought he looked comfortable, confident, and he looked the part. The part being a talented rookie. Not perfect, mistakes, but more good than bad. We talked about this an hour ago when we came out and we were excited coming off the weekend about Shadeur Sanders. And some of the reaction to me is a real eye roller. And I'm talking about the reaction to our reaction. And I see a lot of, it was the Panthers' backups. Stop throwing a parade. I know it's the Panthers' backups. Do you see anybody in this show or me putting a Super Bowl ring on Shedeur or putting up a statue of him? It's a good story. It's interesting. It's football. No one's saying he's winning the Super Bowl. No one's saying he's winning the starting job. It's interesting. I hear, why don't you talk more about Jaxson Dart? We have, and we will. Jaxson Dart was taken 119 picks before Shadeur Sanders. We're not in the business of just saying who's the best football player all the time. We're talking about an interesting personal story, of which this definitely is. There's a lot more to do. It was compelling how he played that night under the lights. It was riveting, in fact. It was a very cool personal story, given his background, his family, and everything. I apologize for nothing. We should have talked about Shedeur. We're going to continue to talk about Shedeur. My question is, how are we going to continue talking about Shedeur? He played well in a preseason game. It was maybe like a load off of his shoulder, his family's shoulders. But, like, what is the next now? Is he going to be able to start the next preseason game? What I'm saying is there a way that Shadeur Sanders could run the perfect campaign and somehow pull a rabbit out of his hat, and the rabbit being he starts week 1 for the Browns? Is that even possible? Just give you the roadmap here. Their next preseason game is not till Saturday. It's this weekend. They're playing at Philadelphia. Now, the problem is, even if Shedeur does start, which based on injuries, Dylan Gabriel, Flacco, we don't know yet. It's too far off. Even if he were to start, the Eagles are not going to play their starters defensively. That's just not what they do. So it's not like if Shedeur goes out and throws 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, it's like, can he really win a spot? Is that done? Is there any viability that Shedeur could be so good in the preseason that he would win the spot? Probably not. I still think it's probably just Joe Flacco, and they'll go with safe and stable. But I choose to believe. I don't know. Are you really in the business for the Browns of saying, no, blinders on, we're starting Joe Flacco? Or do they really have their eyes open to this? It's a tricky road. I don't know if it's possible, but certainly Friday night was a huge step forward.
Kyle, sometimes on a Monday of GMFB week, I feel like the next 20 hours of television is going to be a tricky road. But everything that you just said, it gives us legs for the rest of the week because, like you said, they don't play till Saturday. We will have time to discuss this, Shedeur Sanders and that fascinating quarterback room. It carries himself with such confidence. First of all, he looks like he could play for the Savannah Bananas at this point. Secondly, he's got the white turtleneck going while he plays. Kyle, we've talked Jaxson Dart, but we also have to talk about his fellow first-round pick in Abdul Carter with the Giants. What about this conversation? Where do you want to take us, quarterback or defense?
I'll stay with the quarterback. I mean, listen, we're going to talk about Carter, too. He looked really good in limited snaps when against Deion Dawkins. Well, guys, we'll talk about it shortly. But you could not have expected anything better for Jaxson Dart. I thought he looked better than Shedeur. I thought Cam Ward looked good. I thought Jaxson Dart looked the part by far. You know, we get into scrutinizing what the stats are and what the throws are. All I care about is somebody goes out there and they just look comfortable. Like, we've seen rookies come out there and you're like, oh, no, this guy does not look comfortable at all. I don't know if this guy looks the part. Jaxson Dart came out and looked like a professional quarterback. This is a great throw. He can do that in his sleep. The conversation with him is he going to play at all as a rookie? And if he's going to play, is it because something is going really wrong and they're losing? I hate to be so diffusive about this, but like there's no conversation in the Giants camp at all about Jaxson Dart starting week 1. It's Russell Wilson, and it's a runaway Russell Wilson. If he keeps playing this well in preseason, give him something to think about. But Giants fans, you celebrate this morning being like, I think Dart might be something, just not for a while. What do you think, DeMarco?
You know, when I was walking this morning until I got here, after watching him play with no sound, I was thinking one of these veterans is going, either Jameis or Russell. Until you said that Russell's going to be the guy, then it may be Jameis, because this guy can play. And I do wonder how long Russell can hold him off, especially if it's not going well. If Russell Wilson is a shot fighter, he doesn't have a 6th gear. He can't pull a rabbit out of his hat anymore. How long can you actually hold this kid off? Because I think he has real talent. Mm-hmm. He really does. He's great when he pulls the ball down. Now you got to learn how to slide, and he can make every single throw. Now he's going to get better. And New York is a tough place to play, especially for anybody, but especially for quarterbacks. But I do wonder how long Russell Wilson can hold this kid off as far as talent is concerned. If Russell can, it's the greatest redemption story we've heard in a long time, that Russell goes to New York and actually makes it work. But if you follow the NFL, you've seen this coming before. At some point, mid-season, Jaxson Dart will probably be the starter for the Giants down the road.
I like that. Now, I want to talk about Abdul Carter, but before I do, I want to talk about Brian Daboll, because I thought what Brian Daboll did for his young quarterback was a masterclass. And what I mean by that is, on those 3rd down and long situations that he was in, all they did was run screens. Like, how many times have we seen these young quarterbacks and they're whoever's calling the plays for them on 3rd down and long, require them to make some crazy play and it's picked off, and what does that do to their confidence? Like, Brian Daboll had a plan. It was like, listen, we're going to throw that screen. If it's 5 yards, cool, it was a screen anyway. But if we get a first down, let's get more opportunities. So I thought that Brian Daboll did a great job out there in structuring that approach for his young quarterback. Now, Abdul Carter. Now, when I watch Abdul Carter, he has a get-off that reminds me of Von Miller. Like, I'm not saying he's Von Miller, so don't. But that get-off, there are certain rushers that when they come off that ball, they get off so quickly and so fast that you're like, man, how are you going to even stop that? But then he has some twitchiness that reminds me of Michael Parsons. See, when Von Miller would come across, he was so smooth. And if you watch the first hour, DeMarco had a clip of that bend. That's what Von Miller had. But when I watch Abdul Carter, he has a get off, but he's also twitchy, which is a lot like Michael Parsons. Now, they move him a lot around for the Giants. They don't just keep him on the edge. They put him over guards. They put him over centers, which is what the Dallas Cowboys use with Micah. So, again, guys, I'm not saying that he is that player, but what I am saying is there are attributes about his game that is reminiscent of Vaughn in his get-off, and the twitchiness to him that is reminiscent of a Michael Parsons and how the New York Giants are using him. So I'm really excited to watch this rookie.
Their defense has had a lot of good pieces, but they may have just found that thing that brings the whole picture together.
They didn't score after that, but nobody cares about that. The discussion here was that Cam Ward looks good. Seems like all these rookies are looking good. Cam, with one in the books, what is it that you want to improve on? My man, the Phantom, take it away.
Well, I just think my biggest one is just I got to maximize my drives. I had a 3 and out in the first quarter, and that was all we did. So just maximize my drives and, just trying to continuously move the chains. You got to be able to get a defensive break.
Was the speed of the game about what you expected?
It was. It's not really too different from college. Just more of being, I would say, alerted on third downs. Just the cans that you can get to in Coach Callahan's offense, and then just getting the ball out when it needs to be out.
He stays true to himself. He's got such a serious affect, and I'm into that for Cam Ward. He has maintained that as the #1 overall pick all the way now into his first start in the preseason under his belt. Manti, what'd you make of Cam Ward's debut?
I thought it was solid. I think he demonstrated why he was the best thrower of the football in this class. Like how he threw the ball, I thought was beautiful. But you see that bounce right there when he gets back there, KB. It was reminiscent, like we talked about, he looked the part. It was reminiscent of those old school quarterbacks that got that little casual bounce back there. So shout out to Cam Ward for taking me back to those good old days. Like nowadays you have these quarterbacks that have those happy feet, and it's an RPO where their feet are always busy. But Cam Ward got this nonchalant, like casual bounce to him, which I really, really appreciated. But like, yeah, watch some of these old school guys. Like, goddamn, this casual bounce. Like, you don't see that a lot nowadays. But when I watch Cam Ward play, I was like, man, that reminds me of those good where you had to be under center, you had to drop back, and you had to read defenses. And there was those split seconds where you would just bounce back there. I missed that. I really did. But Cam Ward, he reminded me of that when I watched him. So I thought he threw the ball well. I love the bounce. I love the poise, and it's looking good for the rookie out there. I think the Phantom is what KB called him. He looked the part.
I like the Phantom. I think that might stick. But it's like he's the polar opposite of Shadeur Sanders.
Yeah.
If Shadeur Sanders showed up in the parking lot, you would know it. Yeah. If Cam Ward was in this room, you might not. But I think what you said, the bounce and everything, I think that's why he went #1. You could tell of all the rookie quarterbacks we've seen today, he looks the best out of all of them technically. That's why he's the #1 guy. So I think that's a perfect lane for him. I think you should stay anonymous, keep working, stay under the radar, and just surprise people with how well you play.
I think it's funny that people think we overreact to Shadeur Sanders playing well against the Panthers' backups, and Manti's bringing out Dan Marino and Tom Brady. Cam Ward, Manti, that's changing the story. I like it. Why the hell not? Listen, Cam Ward's, in my opinion, the only rookie quarterback who's going to start Week 1. Okay, that's a big deal. He is definitely going to start. They go at Denver. It's not ideal. It's on the road. It's in elevation. It's against one of the best defenses in the league and the best cornerback in the league. And yet, I don't know. I think he'll just go out there and start chucking it. This guy has this presence that's just not only confident, it's comfortable, it's unassuming. He has this almost maddening, this is no big deal way about him. Afterwards, Shedeur's giving out letter grades to himself, and Jaxson Dart's saying, I always expect to play well. And Cam's kind of like, yeah, it's fine. It's no big deal. Like, it was all right. I have always loved the way he handles himself. I like the body language. I like the throws. First drive. And by the way, I like that he's hitting Ridley, too. If the Titans have their way, like Calvin Ridley's going to have 120 catches this year. If things go the way, I mean, he is going to be a high-volume fantasy-type player. It looks good. It looks great. He's always been my favorite quarterback in this class. I love him. He's the only one I think who's going to be starting Week 1 short of something dramatic happening. And we'll see. He looks great against Tampa's backups. Week 1, late window, by the way, 4 o'clock start, which for the Titans is as close as they're going to come to a primetime game at Denver. We'll see what he's made of then.
Goal drive that you saw out of J.J. McCarthy, Manti, what'd you make of his start?
Well, it's exactly what we said it was going to be. I mean, the thing that distinguishes J.J. McCarthy from Sam Darnold is his ability to scramble, his ability to use his legs. And I think that's something that they really missed last year, especially when they played against the Detroit Lions late into the season. Now, I will say this. They're going to miss Jordan Addison. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, all of his best throws were to number 3. All of them. All of the best catches were by number 3. Now, we're speaking about number 3, we're not going to see him for 3 weeks, but He'll be back. But they're going to miss him, and I know J.J. McCarthy's going to miss him. So, DeMarco, when I watch his game, I look at somebody who's obviously in his second year under the system. He's somebody who's very comfortable in that system. Now, there's so much more that we have to see. He demonstrated that he could throw the ball on the run. He could run the ball. But there's so much we don't know yet. But what I do know is they're going to miss Jordan Addison, DeMarco.
I need to see more. But I do trust Kevin O'Connell, and he thinks the world of this kid, so much so that you let Sam Darnold move on. But I'll say this, of all the quarterbacks we've talked about, he's got the most pressure. That's one of the best NFL rosters in the league, you know what I mean? And you're taking over. That's like handing the keys to a young driver, and hey, drive this Ferrari. Let's see if you can get it all the way to the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. But Kevin O'Connell feels like he's the guy. He can run the offense, not make a mistake, understand that you do have a defense. If it's not there, throw it away, punt, we'll play defense, or scramble and pick up the first down. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts. But, of any quarterback outside of Dak Prescott who puts more pressure on his team, I don't think there's any more pressure than J.J. McCarthy right now. You've got to get this team into the playoffs.
Yeah, we've talked about all offseason. I always use the word pivotal. He's just one of the most important players. He really wields an important role as the Vikings quarterback, and we don't know how great he is. This game and McCarthy's performance just gets me back to my preseason is fake Christmas theory. It's a real game. It's kind of like a real present, but not really. The real ones still aren't coming for weeks. It's just he's out there, and I'm trying to analyze what he's going to do this year. He's out there with a receiver who's not going to be there because he's going to be suspended, and Jefferson's not playing. So, I mean, that's a pretty big deal to break down what we think about J.J. McCarthy. I can tell you all the things about, he moves the pocket well, and he finishes his throws. Like, we know that about him. We know that he is an able-bodied, confident athlete, and we've seen him a lot. I want to see him in a real football game with Addison and Jefferson. And I would say we're going to see that in the opener. We're not even going to see that till like week 4. So the mystery continues with J.J. McCarthy. Opening night at Chicago in prime time without Addison. It's a very interesting thing. But as far as this preseason goes, I know a lot of guys are out there without their best receiver. I can't analyze him without Jefferson. He is the receiver. He's the biggest part of their offense by far. I want to see him out there with Jefferson, and we'll have to just, as I keep saying over and over, like those presents, we just have to wait. We can shake them, and we can guess what's in there, but we can't open them.
It just seems like a lot of hardships, too, because as Kyle referenced, that week 4 return for Jordan Addison is in a game that's going to be played in Dublin, Ireland. Then they have to stay in Europe, and the Vikings play a second game for the first time ever in the NFL in Europe. Those are the first 2 times you're going to see that offense in completion before they return back to the continental United States and play a game. So
I want to play this game. That's only one way you step on this field. That's a full game. Full game. No, we ain't got to deal with them. They got to deal with us. Now, this game about dominating your opponent. Somebody try to take your head off. You got to take his head before you take yours. And that's what we on today. We on dominate. This is our first chance to put it on display. Let's go. Saints on me. Saints on 3. 1, 2, 3. Saints.
You can still feel that energy reverberating from across the street at SoFi. That's this man right here, Demario Davis. I'm looking at you watching yourself. Is that like an out-of-body experience?
First of all, I'm like, why am I so charged up and I'm not even about to play?
Because it's the preseason.
It's so funny, though, like how I even got into that. Man, I used to watch these videos of Ray Lewis as a kid. Like, I was watching, like, Madden 2005, like, when Ray Lewis was leading, like, leave your mark. Never thinking that I would be the guy that's, like, in the huddle doing those things. And so that's incredible. But, yeah, I was too hyped up for a preseason.
Yeah, not too hyped up. Not at all. Not at all. The game was played, though. We got a highlight that we want to take a look at, and we want to talk about your squad. Does that work for you?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So Kellen Moore, as we all know, youngest active head coach in the NFL now, 37 years old, first time with a headset on for the Saints. This is a Tyler Shuck package in television, as we like to say. Second-round pick out of Louisville. Shuck throws a short pass to Dante Pettis, picked. Eric Rodgers runs this thing back. Rodgers, a rookie out of Rutgers, 44-yard TD. puts more points on the board for the Chargers. First mistake of the day for Shuck. Moving on, next Saints drive. Shuck looking to bounce back. 1st and 10 from their own 46. Throws this deep to Mason Tipton. Drops it in the bucket. Tipton with the hand up before he crosses the goal line. A thing of beauty, 54-yard TD. Shuck would finish 15 of 22, $165 with a TD and that aforementioned interception. So, your guy, Tyler Shuck. Now, you watched him after the hype speech. What'd you make of the pick?
Man, it was so much that happened in that clip. I think there's no greater representation of New Orleans than what just happened and what we just saw in that 5-10 seconds.
Yeah?
Think about adversity. The worst adversity, what's the worst thing you think you can do as a quarterback? Is throw a pick 6. And in his first preseason games, he comes back the next drive and throws a bomb for a TD. Like, that's ultimate resiliency. Like, that's ultimate facing adversity and staring it right in the eye and not blinking, not flinching. And that's incredible. That's incredible. So I don't even really.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I see the response.
Well, you got Tyler Shuck, but you also have somebody named Chris Rumph, DD, that I know you're really impressed with. Talk to us a little bit about him and the other rookies that you saw really impressed you.
Well, it was a lot of guys that stood out in the game. No, we didn't get the win, but it was guys who had incredible performances. Man, Chris Rumph has had an incredible camp. I mean, this guy is crazy off the edge. Him and Fidel Diggs, they were phenomenal. And just having that pressure off the edge, in Brandon Staley's system, you got to have the pressure off the edge. You look at what that Big Fangio system in Philadelphia, what they were able to do in the Super Bowl, that edge pressure, you got to have it, and them guys were phenomenal. And so major shout out to them. Got to give a shout out to my linebackers, Jalen Ford and Isaiah Stahlberg, both led the team in tackles with 8 tackles. They were phenomenal, lights out all over the field. And so there's some guys that had big days.
Yeah.
Offense. We saw Shuck, but this Velus Jones Jr. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Man, I love football. I love dogs, and man, he showed it, man.
Yep.
He showed it. He's a dog.
See, you linebackers always crack me up. You always call out the other linebackers. You have to. You're in the room. You guys always do that.
Absolutely.
But you're not at all like I thought you would be. You're actually a nice guy. I've seen you play a bunch of times from the sidelines. You are an absolute monster. But I do have to ask you, when you have a new head coach, a young head coach, and a young quarterback, I mean, how does that inspire you, a veteran that's been through so many battles and wars?
Man, first of all, man, I love playing for Kellen Moore. I'm not just hyping up. First of all, we're the same age, and I
What's
think
that like?
I didn't know what it would be like, but experiencing it, it's almost like we have the same brain. If I was running a team, I would run it exactly like he runs it. Going into year 14, like, you can be the grumpy old man in the locker room. Like, I love coming to work every day. I love coming to work. Like, I know the record has been what it's been, but I guarantee you there's nobody having more fun playing football than New Orleans Saints right now.
Wow.
We've had 2 scrimmages, full scrimmages, man, Ty, over 100 plays.
What?
In camp before the first preseason game. And our bodies feel fresh. Tell me how you do that.
Oh, wow.
Man, this dude, he understands efficiency. He understands, like, bringing joy to football. He has an amazing coaching staff. You have a killer in him as an offensive coordinator. You have a killer in Brandon Staley. This Ted Rapp, our strength and conditioning coach, is incredible. Like, I'd rather do OTAs and minicamp at home, but, like, I actually enjoy going to work. Like, I got better.
Wow.
And so year 14, like, the staff that he's assembled, I mean, I could rave about those guys all day. And, I mean, Kellen's resume speaks for itself. I have no doubts about how fast he's ascended as a coach.
Wow.
I think everybody just gets it.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
He's really different.
Yeah.
Demario, what's great about you is you can talk about things all around the league, and you got your eye on everything. There's a lot of talk, and has been for months, about Shadeur Sanders, this Browns rookie quarterback. He's Deion's son, the whole deal. Falls in the draft, now plays his first preseason game the other night and looked really good. What is your take on him and the media's reaction to Shadeur Sanders?
Man, I'm so glad you asked this question. I'm so glad you asked the question. Now, many people were heartbroken that he didn't land in New Orleans, but everything happens exactly how it's supposed to. Man, this brother he's divinely blessed. He's divinely blessed. It doesn't matter where you place him, he's going to shine. And it doesn't matter who closes the door, there's a door that's open for him. And that's what he's doing. He's putting it on display. He fell to, which round did he fall to? Fourth? Fifth? Fifth round.
Yeah.
And projected to be first round. You haven't seen him be down. You haven't seen him be complained. You haven't seen him complain. He showed up. He's been the ultimate professional. He's going to the camps. He's going to talk to the kids. He's signing autographs. He's being himself. And all he's done is showing up and work. And when you look at how impressive he looked in his first preseason game, I don't think anybody was shocked. And I just think what I think is most impressive about it is his demeanor in it all. But you just look at the pedigree that he comes from. His dad is a Hall of Famer. He's been around it his whole life. He is built for moments like this. And I just think it's going to be, we all are going to get a chance to witness his story. And I just love just the light and the aura that's coming off his life. It's amazing to see. Major shout out to you, Shedeur.
Now, the reason why this is so enlightening, what you're saying about Shedeur, is because the Browns have just been through it when it comes to the quarterback position. And one of those stops on that emotionally charged train is the Baker Mayfield experience. We've seen Baker bounce around, and now you face against him in the NFC South, going up against the Buccaneers. So what is it like when you are preparing for a Baker Mayfield experience in the league, knowing his personality, knowing what he has become as a quarterback?
Man, I'm so a big fan of Baker Mayfield. I'm a guy that likes to see the underdog adversity story, the overcoming, because I think life is a journey. We all go through hard stuff. Things don't go the way we want. And it's not about what happens to you in this world, but it's about how you respond to it. And Baker is a representation of that. I mean, he's had many highs in his life. He's had many lows, but now it's going very well for him. He has Tampa rolling. Every time we get a chance to go against, Baker and Todd Bowles, we already know what it's going to be. That defense is going to be loaded. They're going to come out, swinging.
Yep.
Got Mike Evans outside trying to stop him. It's going to be a hard day. And Baker, he's running the show. And he has his moment. He's owning it. And he's the ultimate competitor.
I like to think that when I sit in this chair and you show up and you get mic'd up, that I run the show. So do you get to stay for another segment? Can you stay?
I'm here.
Yeah!
I'm here. Thank y'all for having me.
He's mic'd up. Demario Davis, everybody. That means he doesn't get to leave his seat. We're going to stick around. We have more questions for you, okay? And we want to hear more about the Saints in New Orleans. 100-play scrimmages.
He going to run the pregame huddle.
Let's break down a little film. We're looking at the Jets versus Packers preseason game, and there's the play. We know Justin Fields can use his legs, but take a look at this. There is more than meets the eye in this. First, we see Fields dropping back, but he says, you know what? I'm going to call my own number. Takes us in for the score. 13-yard TD run. It's 7-0 on this touchdown. Jets do win 30-10, but two linebackers here, Manti, Demario. I want to know what is catching your eye, because we got to peel this onion back a little bit. There's more than meets the eye.
There's some little savviness by Isaiah Davis. It's Isaiah Davis versus Isaiah McDuffie for the Packers. And I don't know if you can see Isaiah Davis. He's lined up on the top of the screen. He comes across the line of scrimmage, and he starts to run. Now, he starts to implement what we call a scramble drill. You see the running back right here? Scramble drill is if you're low, go high. If you're high, go low. So he starts to implement that. But he does a great fake, acting like he's going to get the ball. Didi, you know how it is as a linebacker. Tell the viewers how difficult that is for Isaiah McDuffie in this situation.
Man, that's a lot. I want to talk. It's so much happening right here in this small clip. Yes, the worst position you can be in as a linebacker for Isaiah McDuffie, we've all been there, is you see the guy looking up for the ball and you're like, oh my gosh, this ball is coming. I'm not in position. This is about to be a touchdown. That's just a moment of fear that you don't want to feel, and I don't want anybody to have to experience. So that's why he's chasing and not looking back. But first of all, let's talk about Aaron Glenn and what he's building here in New York. Now, let's not forget that this is Jets versus Packers. When Aaron Glenn got there, he moved away from Aaron Rodgers and said, I got the guy I want to go get, Justin Fields. And we see that guy shining. So major shout out to Aaron Glenn and a former Saint and what he's building over in New York. And I still got love for my Jet family up there.
Yeah, I mean, that was really cool what you guys broke that all down. And this was really our first taste of what these Jets can do. So certainly a good start. We appreciate it, guys. More GMFB coming your way.
Demario Davis, linebacker for the Saints, decided to hang around GMFB the entire hour. Specifically, Demario, my girls are coming into flag football age. Okay, we're considering enrolling. It's happening. The sign-up is going down in our household. How do you see girls flag football developing and evolving over the next couple of years for young athletes?
Man, this is near and dear to my heart as a father of 5 girls. I tell everybody proudly I'm a girl dad, and so anything that's happening in the realm of girls is huge. Flag football is exploding in our country, and it is a great thing because of the doors that is opening for girls as far as like high school sports is happening. I think 13 states have sanctioned it. Shout out to Mississippi, Louisiana.
Yep.
Major shout out back home to our community champion and leader on our Saints organization, Alicia Brashard Sheridan, for what she's created with the Saints organization and being able to sponsor flag football for high school girls. 13 girls between Louisiana and Mississippi have received scholarships. This is new.
This is
and
great.
So girls are going to college to play flag football, and that wasn't available, 5 years ago.
Yep.
And so that's a big deal. And so when you talk about the evolution of football and what this game means, like, man, football has changed many of our lives.
Big time.
And so that pathway is available for girls now.
My daughter is getting ready to start this Thursday, first practice.
Yay!
Yeah, cannot wait. And this is funny. So there's been a bunch of FARs that have played football. This will be our first quarterback.
Come on.
Oh,
So I'm super excited. She's got a quarterback.
huge.
I thought you said Favre. I was like, no, Favre. DeMarco Favre. Okay, sorry.
Quarterback in the family will be my daughter, and she's 10. Cannot wait to play. I'm so excited to see them be able to do that. Yeah, I'm geeked for it. Yeah.
That's a huge
So you
deal.
hosted an event, was it last month, over in Paris that you were a brand ambassador for? Now you're taking this to be an international experience?
Well, it's a big deal. I think we have one of the greatest games in the world, and the NFL has made it no secret about its plan to grow internationally. And a major part of that is the markets that each team has. And our team, New Orleans Saints, has the France market, and got a chance to take a trip over to Paris last week. It was incredible. Got a chance to spend time with so many amazing people over there. Got to go to the embassy, got to go to a lot of the local places, and got to see a lot of things. And what was amazing was the synergy between Louisiana and France, and Paris and New Orleans. Paris is like a big sister city to New Orleans, and when you get to see that, it's like, oh, we have to make a game happen here.
Yes.
And that's what's next on the radar, is getting the Saints to play in Paris, and everybody's going to be there for that.
That'd be cool.
That's insightful. I love that. Demario, you really do it all, but we need to tap into your insight about something else. Years ago, you were teammates with that meathead to your left, Teo. Tell us what it was like, not only being teammates, but in the same linebacker room and everything. What do you remember about it?
Man, just the intensity and the greatness of it. That's why we brothers now, man. We families, like, man, when two ooses link up, man, it's real. And man, Manti is a legend in his own right. Just an incredible journey. And so getting a chance to be around one of the greatest to ever do it was amazing. And I think we studied and approached the game from two different ways and styles, but we had the same intensity, and it was just a mutual respect and good, recognizing good, and so it was just great, and we linked up.
Well, Didi, as you said, I was in those meetings with you, those extra meetings where it was just me and Demario, and I'm picking his brain about what he sees. And I remember all of the plays, and you and I are bouncing information back and forth. You'd be on the phone with your spiritual leader, like getting some of that knowledge. Now, you've been in this league for some time now, brother. What would you say? We're talking about flag football. What would you say when you plant that Demario Davis flag down, that you said, man, I did it. That's my career. That's a wrap. What would you say is that accomplishment for you?
Man, if I feel like if the greatest thing anybody knows me for is what I've done on the football field, then my life is a failure. Like, I want to be known as the man that I was. Not a man that did it perfectly, but a man that gave it everything that he had, that he lived for something greater than himself, that he lived to reflect God, that he lived to reflect his family, and live in a way that was bigger than himself, and it was about people that were around me and not just myself.
I cannot believe that man that was so beautiful is the same man that was screaming his head off at his teammates yesterday in the preseason. That is, you have range, Demario, and we love that about you.
Hey, man, that's my father, the lion in the land.
I tell you guys right now.